Hey, Heather. I
Hey.
am so excited, you guys, today because we are talking to my client, Heather, who has done my 90-day coaching program. And she's now in a next level coaching program because she has more goals to smash, and she's already doing that. And she's here to share her story and her experiences. And so I'm going to jump right into that, Heather, and turn it over to you. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and tell us about how you were feeling, where you were before you started that 90-day program with me. Like, what was going on with you that made you even want to do that?
Well, I think two things. One, I was approaching my 40th birthday. And so that's a big deal in our lives. And also, I had a training coming up for work, which I knew would be physical, not anything strenuous, but I knew it would be physical. And I didn't want to go on to be the one huffing and puffing that couldn't make it through any of the moves that we did. And I was just in a sad place. I almost would describe it as being kind of gloomy. I would come home from work, I would put my PJs on, lay around on the couch, wasn't going out and seeing people, none of my clothes fit. I was just uncomfortable in my own skin. It was very hard to get up and down stairs. I was winded, and that was one of my goals, was to be able to go up and down the stairs at work without breathing loud and trying to cover it up so people didn't hear me.
And I know when we talked a lot, you had a lot of physical reasons for wanting to do this, and like you've mentioned, and you mentioned the training. And so I want to mention, we're using Heather's first name. Heather is in the criminal justice field. We're not going to say exactly what she does or use her last name, but there was a physical component to your desire to change, to make this change and lose weight. Talk to us a little bit about the emotional stuff that was going on behind that, if you would.
Sure. I feel like I was almost depressed. I wasn't seeing a counselor or anything, but I felt like I was just sad. On the outward appearance, you probably wouldn't know that because I tried to put up that fake front, like everything's great, my life's wonderful. But the truth was, it wasn't wonderful. I had personal relationships that weren't going so well. I had stress at work that I wasn't managing. I wasn't a happy person, but nobody knew that because I was holding it all in. I was trying to keep it together. So I think that's where I was.
So many women can relate to that. I remember that feeling myself, and I talk to women all the time who express that same kind of thing. It's like everybody, if you ask anybody around me, they would think that I'm fine, I'm happy, but on the inside I'm crying, that the insides don't match the outsides feeling, right? And I know we talked quite a bit about that for you. And it's hard sometimes to share that kind of emotion and feeling, and that where you've gotten, you almost share it and realize like you've gotten to this space that I knew that I wasn't happy, but I didn't realize like how unhappy maybe I was,
Yeah, I remember the first time that we talked, I thought it was going to be no big deal, 5 to 20 minutes on the phone, just kind of telling you what my goals were. I just need to lose weight to, get in shape and feel better about myself and do great at work. And I think we sat and we talked for an hour, and I just poured it all out, and almost really to a complete stranger. And I didn't realize that I was holding all that in, and I had so much going on until I kind of started opening up and talking about it. So
yeah.
very healing.
I'm sorry.
I would say just even our first conversation together was very healing, just bringing that kind of into my awareness.
Yeah. And that's a really good point. I think so many of us and as women, we don't realize how good we are at like stuffing down that emotion, right? And how connected it is to how we feel about ourselves, how we feel about our bodies, how we feel about in terms of confidence and sexuality and, being able to be intimate with our partners, and like how much of that we stuff down and try to even hide from ourselves. But when we start to scratch the surface, it comes out. And, I know a lot of people think that, they start working with me and they really do. They have weight loss goals, they have body goals, which is completely valid, right? But once we start working together, they realize how much of the solution really is in how they're feeling, like the emotional side of it, their mindset, all of these things that they really hadn't dealt with in so long. And so we deal with so much of that. So this is a good point to kind of move into that. So talk to us a little bit about, like, what was your experience like in the program? Like, what was it that made this different or work for you? Because I know you've done other things, like so many of the women I work with. I've done it all and nothing works. Why will this work? So why did this work for you?
I've done everything under the sun, I feel like. And so I think for this one, it's because the big thing for me was the workouts. We are able to work out at home, so you don't have to find time to go to the gym. You don't have to spend an hour and a half, 5 days a week in the gym. There's no going to the gym and feeling self-conscious or worried. Just all that stuff. You ladies know all that stuff that goes with going to the gym. So, and being able to work out at home, there's no excuses why you couldn't get it done, because the workouts, they are literally 20 to 30 minutes long. They are so short. And so, you can come home from work or work out in the morning, and it doesn't take up your whole day, and you can fit it in, and you don't have to have any fancy gym equipment at home to get it done. So that for me was huge, because I would always say, oh, I'm going to go work out with my husband this week. We're going to start working out on Monday. And, maybe we would do good for a couple weeks, and then something would happen and we would get off our track of going to the gym. Well, guess that wasn't a problem anymore, because we weren't going to the gym. I was doing it on my own, for me, at home. And you get pretty sweaty, so you're glad you're at home, so you can rip those clothes off as soon as you're done, because you were hot.
Yeah.
But
And I'm glad you brought up the length of the workouts, because a lot of times people will ask, like, well, how is it possible to do what your clients, the pictures that I see that your clients get these results, how is it possible to do that in 20 25 minutes 3 days a week? And there's a couple of things about that. Heather just told you get sweaty. Like, even I've had personal trainers who have gone through this program and they get sweaty. Part of the real key to that is that metabolic component to those workouts, how they're designed in a way that's really customized for you, for your fitness level, for what's going on with your metabolism, your hormones. So they're a little different for each person. So that individualization or that customization really makes it key. And one of my goals was to really design those in a way, because I do work with busy women. And so I want them to be things that you can get in, you can get out, and they're super effective, and they have to be individualized for them to be that effective. And most people do them at in the gym, but I have a lot of clients too, which is a really good point on the short and the easy to fit in, who travel for work. Like you travel for work sometimes too. You can take them with you. You can go to a gym. If you just love going to your gym, you can do them in a gym. But for the most part, I think the ease of doing them at home is certainly a huge convenience. Were there other big parts or something that stands out to you as like what made a difference for you this time?
One thing that I really loved and respected was that there was no push to go buy a certain protein powder, or you have to buy these supplements or take these pills or get, buy these prepackaged meals.
Or follow this meal plan.
Follow this meal plan. There's nothing like that. So, I mean, everything that I eat and have eaten since I started this, like 4 or 5 months ago, it's all at the grocery store. Everything is there. Now, I mean, if you want to do protein powder or take supplements, Lori, you've been great about recommendations and kind of what you think is the best stuff out there, but you don't have to buy any of that stuff. You just go grocery shopping and eat real food.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely about eating in a way that, learning to eat in a way that balances your hormones, fuels your metabolism, and for so many of us, Heather mentioned, that she was turning 40 this year. Just before she started the program, she was looking at 40. She has turned 40. And so, our bodies change at this point. And that's why so many of us go back to the things that we tried before, all the diets, and you can plug and play any program you want. We've done them all. Even when you go back to those and you think they may have worked for you before, oftentimes, most often for women our age, those things don't work anymore. And in fact, we've gotten in our bodies, we've gotten ourselves to a place where that whole idea of cutting calories and exercising more just does not work for us. Our body revolts against it. So yeah, it's about it. And the other component to what you said that I think is really important is, for me, it was really important that when I created this program and I started coaching women in this way full time, I want this to be sustainable. Like, I had done it, up and down for years and years, and I was sick of that. And that's how this program really came to be, was finding a way to do it for myself that was sustainable. And so you're not coming back, a year from now and going, oh, well, I need to do it again. No, it's not about that. It's about actually, I know it sounds cliche to say it's about, changing your lifestyle, but it truly is. But it's a way that we work on it, and the coaching and the support help you to actually really change. It's not just about what you do, right?
Yeah, I think that's great, because I've done all kinds of programs and I'm always successful because I just follow, step 1 through 10, check, 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 check. Okay, did it, lost the weight, woohoo. And then you go right back into those bad habits that you had before, because you didn't really change anything like for long term. You just did a short term fix.
Yeah.
And that for me is the biggest thing. I'm not the same person that I was 5 months ago. And I feel like I just continue to evolve, not only like in a healthy lifestyle, but with like in a healthy mindset.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome. So go into that a little bit. Tell us about, like, where are you now?
So of course we all join because we want to lose weight. So when I started, I was in between an 18 and a 20. And so now I'm out of plus size, woohoo, and I'm in 16. Yeah, it's a big deal. I'm in a 16 and some 14s depending. So that's great. So that's just the physical stuff, which is wonderful. And yay, I got the results I wanted. Okay. But the biggest thing for me is all the changes inside. I have more confidence. I have more energy. On the days I don't work out, I can feel the energy bubbling up in me and I have to do something. So it's, going on a walk, going to yoga, cleaning the house, just, you really do feel so much better.
That metabolism has actually begun changing.
It has changed. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just, I'm a happier person. I'm more joyful. I'm a better mom. I'm a better wife. I'm a better employee. Just all of that stuff. I'm not faking it anymore.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Yeah. I remember you saying that, you put out this like fake person you felt like before, and that you didn't have to fake it anymore. And I think that's just, that's amazing. No matter, the over 25 pounds and you're continuing to lose, that's all great. And I want all of my clients to see that scale drop, but to, feel like you're happy and you're not faking it anymore is something that's just completely invaluable. And tell us about, because you started with how you were worried about a training that you had coming up at work. How did the training go?
It was fine. Easy. Well, I would say easy. It wasn't huffing and puffing to get through it. And we'll have another training coming up this fall, and I'm not worried about it at all. That anxiety isn't building up inside of me. Oh my gosh, am I going to be the one out of shape? Oh my gosh, everyone's looking at me, the judgment. I don't have any of that anymore. Well,
and we'll just say that when she talks about the training, that this is a physically exerting, seriously physical type of training that she's required to do. So this isn't just doing a little 20 jumping jacks and, you know, maybe some push-ups and go on about it. No, this is
Right.
this is the real deal stuff that she's getting put through the ringer. So to feel confident about that was a huge success. I know I remember when you shared that with the other women in the group, and it was just a huge success. So we celebrate that. So, well, let's kind of close out here and with you tell us, what would you say to a woman who maybe feels now how you felt before, can relate to your story, who wants to do something about it, maybe who is even like thought about talking to me about this program, and they're kind of sitting there still wanting those results and not knowing what to do?
I would tell them that you found your people. We are your people. So don't, say, I'm going to message her tomorrow, or I'm going to do it, on Monday. Message her right now, because that's what I had to do. And if I wouldn't have messaged her and waited until Monday, I wouldn't have ever done it. So, the 12 weeks is going to pass, whether you're in the program or not. And you've probably already tried everything else like I have. So why not just give this a try? You will not be disappointed. And if for some reason you are, you can message me and tell me all about how it didn't work for you. But I promise you that's not going to happen. And what I found is, connecting with all the women, really kind of all over the world, but, definitely in the United States, we kind of all have the same things. We're all very, goal orientated. We all are high achieving, and, we've done programs in the past and been successful. Why can't I do it again? And it's just because things have changed. You're older, it's harder. Those things don't work anymore. And you really need the support of the other women. And you need Lori as the coach to cheer you on. So we've had lots of phone calls and talks and tears and laughs, and, just don't wait any longer. You deserve better than this, and you know it. So put yourself first. There's nothing wrong with that. Put yourself first today. That's what I'll tell them.
Awesome. Well, I adore you. I know your story. Thank you so much for sharing it. I know it's inspiring to women who are sitting out there, like I said, feeling like you felt. And I know that one of these interviews was actually what got you to send that message to me. I remember you telling me about that. And so I'm certain there are people out there who will have the same reaction. And so thank you so much for inspiring people. Thank you for being you. And I just adore you. I'm so thrilled and blessed, and I just feel honored to be part of this journey with you. And I really appreciate you sharing your story today. Talk to you soon.
Yes, ma'am.
Bye.
Bye.